80% of all accidents happen when you're backing out. I think that's true. Definitely it's a high percentage. Pretty easy to avoid collisions when you're going forward, but backing is a challenge to most of us. How you doing, everybody? Cliff Yates, live in the vertical mode. I love going live vertical mode. Why? Because it's all about being raw and real. Raw and real this 2026 as I head down to the gym. Thanks for joining, and I go live in the vertical mode for a couple different reasons. One of those is because I know people jump in and out of the shorts feed, and people kind of check in and say, who's this crazy bastard? You know what? I think I'll follow him because it seems like he's all about self-improvement, personal growth, motivation, inspiration, but really about discipline and really getting to the next step, not being satisfied. Hey, I'm happy, but happily dissatisfied. If you haven't already, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. I'll repeat it because people are jumping in and out here. But subscribe to the channel. Join a community of progress. That's what I'm all about. I'm a tiny little channel, but I do post regularly, and I'm very conscious. I want to share things of value, not BS, not a commentary. As much as I'd like to comment about a lot that's going on, I basically refrain from doing it because it's all about how we can do better today than we did yesterday. And boy, this weekend was a beautiful weekend, everybody. I talked last week a lot about that Harvard study. I'm surprised a lot of people don't know about that Harvard study on happiness. It's been going on for 85 years. 85 years, Harvard been studying what makes people happy. Generation after generation. This started in the 60s, and they've had 4 managers because 3 have died in the process, and they've been interviewing siblings and people and grandchildren and videotaping and taking MRIs and showing people pictures of family and seeing how their brain reacts. And in the end, what they've come down to for happiness is money does play a big part in happiness to a certain point. You know, to a certain level, the degree of money that we make, the more we make, the happier we are to a certain level. But then when we get to the point where we're pretty well above basic needs, then after that, the incremental increase in money doesn't move the needle that much in happiness. So in the end, from all of the interviews throughout people's lives, generation after generation, 85 years still going on, at the end of their lives, people were most happy and fulfilled by their relationships. The quality of their life was totally dependent on the quality of their relationships and not the quantity. It was the quality. If you just had 1 or 2 deep, meaningful relationships, that made the difference. I mean, you can have more, but it wasn't going after more and more and more relationships that made the difference. It was quality, deep meaning, not surface level relationships. And so we really have to make it. We have to make a concerted effort to maintain those relationships and keep them strong. However, I'm sure you have, like I have, and I've connected this past summer with several of my close friends that we've been friends really for 40 plus years. Now, a couple of them I hadn't been in contact with for a year or 2. But yet, when we connected again, we picked up right where we left off. It was like there was no time in between. Those are really close friends, right? You don't have to be constantly, doing maintenance on your relationship. They're so solid they last. But those are I think those are the ones we really need to intentionally put maintenance into. We don't need to because they're so strong and solid, but those are the ones that we value the most. They're going to mean the most in the end. And so let's make them mean the most right now. Hey, alrighty, thanks for checking in. And when I get to the gym, I'm going to acknowledge you. I am going to send you a kiss, and I'm going to salute you for checking in the channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe. So anyways, what I did this weekend was I traveled to the west side of Florida. I rented a car to save my car. And so Friday, I drove 3 hours and 45 minutes to Bradenton, Florida. And I stayed with some friends from the Thousand Islands, my summer place. And we had a beautiful dinner, fellowship together, talking, laughing. I stayed the night, even though they wanted me to stay longer. I was on a plan this was a bonsai mission for the weekend only. And so then the next day I headed out and I went down to my friends in Sarasota. Oh my God, these friends. My buddy Mike, who I just became friends with in the last 4 or 5 years. He said, hey, stop over to my house in Sarasota. I got a couple of guest rooms. And you know what? He lied to me. He does not have a house in Sarasota. It's a damn mansion. I looked it up on Zillow. It was 4 bedrooms, 5 baths, 4,000. I said, this can't be Mike's house. So sure enough, oh my God, what a beautiful place, right on Sarasota Bay. And interesting, when I left their place, his wife told me, hey Cliff, before you head down to Punta Gorda, that's where I was heading next, to see friends in Punta Gorda after Saturday. So Sunday lunch, I was going to Punta Gorda. But so Joanna says to me, Cliff, go over to Casey Key over here, right near Siesta Key. You won't believe these houses, 10,000 square feet. They're ginormous. I said, Joanna, your house is ginormous. Well, she goes, yeah, it is, but you got to see these houses are 10,000 square feet. So it's funny how we compare, right? The next level up. But boy, it was a beautiful place, and we had a great time. And Joanna was busy with their 2 girls on soccer games, so Mike and I were able to go out for dinner and a couple of cocktails, a little surf and turf, and we had a great time. Just shared great thoughts and memories. Awesome time. And he said, hey, you can stay here for several days. Well, I would love to, but I'm on a plan. And so I got moving to my next leg, which was to go to Punta Gorda lunch with some other friends from the Thousand Islands. And so I drove an hour to see them. And we had a beautiful lunch together. They're right on the Intercoastal Waterway there in Charlotte Bay, Charlotte. Punta Gorda, which is a great, really waterside community on the Gulf side. And from there, I went down to Naples, an hour and 10 minutes, and met up with my friend Victoria, who I've been friends with since West Hollywood days in California, when she was 19 years old, and I was a deputy sheriff there. And so she now has a house there, and we visited her mom in her community, and then we went out to dinner at a place called Seed to Table, which is like a big farmer's market that has 3 bars in it, had a live band in it. And so people walk around shopping fresh vegetables and meats and everything you could ask for, and they can have a drink while they're shopping. And then you can go and either go to the meat or the seafood place, and you can pick out we picked out Chilean sea bass, and then you take it to a kitchen area, you pick your sides, and then they cook it how you wanted them. Of course, we got it blackened. And then you got a little pager with you, and then where you find a seat somewhere in this behemoth warehouse of a place, and then they bring your meal to you. And so we had it was a fantastic place, fantastic time. Seed to Table, Naples, Florida. So we had, and of course she wanted me to stay there the night, because by the time we got done with dinner, it was 9 o'clock at night. But I had it in my mind, and it was my plan. The plan will work if you stick to the plan. And so my 72-hour bonsai cannonball run to Florida was a great success. I left last night as planned. And so she goes, oh, stay overnight. You can leave in the morning. I go, no. If I leave in the morning, that's going to mess up my day. And I know it's going to happen. I don't know if this happens to you. I would have laid in bed for 2 hours, racing thoughts in my head, 3 hours, and I would have thought, I'm still awake. I might as well have driven. So I'm glad I drove 9:15 until 1 a.m. And so it took me over 3 hours and about 45 minutes. But hey, no traffic going across the state of Florida. Great time. But hey, the whole meaning of this weekend was I wanted a face-to-face connection with these close friends of mine who had supported me all winter long when I was going, all summer long when I was going through a winter season. That's what I was doing. Hey, subscribe to the channel. You're in the right place. Listen, we're all about living an extraordinary life here. And how do you live an extraordinary life? By doing extraordinary things? No. By doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. That's how you live an extraordinary life. That's what the channel's about, and that's why you're here, damn it. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks for checking in, Cookie Eater 16. Yeah, you know all this stuff. That's right. What are you too? What? I don't know. Who is your friends? I have friends I have so many friends on the west coast of Florida, but you know what? I love the east coast of Florida. I like the surf side. What I like about the east side of Florida really is the surf and the constant sea breeze that comes off the ocean to us here. And when you're on the west side, you know, all that air flows from east to west, and it smashes everybody after it goes across the hot land during the summer especially. And so it's just a better, more temperate climate over here, although I'm not here in the summer. All right, everybody, thanks for checking in. Who are my friends? Well, the friends I visited, most of them were from my Thousand Island friends. I have an island in the Thousand Islands, New York. Do you want to see it? You can check it out. Go to Google Earth and search Elm Tree Island. That's my island. And I think I have a playlist called Island. I think it's the island. Go check it out. Subscribe to the channel. Check out my channel. It's all positivity. And you know what? I had a paradigm shift. So here's what I did. All the way across Florida, I used that as my rolling university. And I'm sure you do that right too, right? I used to listen to audiobooks and podcasts. And so I was listening to Bob Proctor, who was kind of instrumental in way before The Secret. I think he's in The Secret. But really, as far as self-improvement, personal growth, and he started Procter Gamble. That's a kind of a coaching company over, I don't know, 50, 60 years ago. Just recently passed away the last couple of years. But he talked about, and it makes sense to me, we don't get energy. People say to me, Cliff, where do you get your energy? And what Bob Proctor was saying, although I think it's a combination. It's a combination of nutrient-dense foods, getting sunlight, play, moving a lot, positive attitude, get plenty of sleep, right? Lowering the cortisol when you can, and constantly be learning new things. Big part of energy, obviously. When you work out, you expend energy and you get just as much back. But what Bob Proctor was saying, he said, you can change your paradigm on this a little bit. What's a paradigm? He said a paradigm really is a thinking system, a system, the way we process information that comes into us, right? Information that we hear, see, smell, taste, touch, and we can change our paradigm as to how we process and the meaning we give to our thought patterns. And so what he says is, hey, we don't get energy, we express it. Energy comes from the universe. It comes from spirit, if you will, God-given spirit. And energy comes to us and through us. We just need to manage the flow. We need to get out of the way and allow energy to flow through us. And I think that works really congruently with moving a lot, nutrient-dense foods, stay away from chemically altered oils, sunlight, plenty of sleep, and always be learning new things. So I think that's my new paradigm shift, that, hey, I don't get energy. I let it go through me. It comes to and through me, and I just need to be in a relaxed state that will allow that energy to flow. We got to control the flow, everybody, and then we're going to be in such an empowered position. We got to make this. Another thing he said I thought was great was to make decisions yourself based on your own intentions, ambitions, dreams, and goals. Make them on yourself. If you ask somebody, I'm thinking about doing this, I'm thinking of doing that, what do you think about that? They don't really know, but they're going to have an opinion. You don't need an opinion. You need to make an informed decision yourself based on the desires of your mind and heart. You know you got this. All right, everybody. I'm here at the gym. Things are going well in the workout range. As a matter of fact, I took the opportunity when I was visiting all my friends. I go, hey, this is a great opportunity to take a couple days rest from the gym. But at the same time, I was able to focus on, not only having great dinners with my friends, but nutrient-dense foods and good conversation, a lot of laughter, seeing new places, experiencing new areas of Florida, going to Bradenton, going to Sarasota, going to Punta Gorda, going to my first trip to Naples, my first trip going to the beaches of Siesta Key. Although, of course, when I visited the Siesta Key, it was 42 degrees. And yesterday when I woke up in west side of Florida, in Sarasota, it was 39 degrees. Today, here in Melbourne, Florida, where I'm at, Central Florida, Space Coast, 26 damn degrees. Are you kidding me? But hey, listen, we don't complain, right? We just keep moving, keep doing what we need to be doing, making the next right decision. Hey, if this resonates with you, please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video because you're going to be here. You're part of the team now, and I'm glad you're part of it. All right, smash that damn subscribe button not to do it now. All right, everybody, I'm Cliff Yates. All right, you know I love you. I'll see you in the next video.